Hey there guys, Shadowscythe here. So I know we haven't made videos in a while, so that's why I decided to make another uncomfortable segment of Nerf news. So, as you can see from the title of this video, we have some more Nerf guns. So, I'll be reviewing that, but also, as you can tell from the title, we have a new channel. Now, we aren't making a new channel, just like we have two channels, Nerf Parody Guys and Homemade Nerf, but we're making a new channel to put all of our videos on, so we're kind of killing Homemade Nerf, so to speak. And, yeah. So, the new channel's called the Shadowscythe Union. You should go to subscribe to them if you're already subscribed to this channel, or just subscribe anyways, because that helps out. But, yeah, so we're making the new channel mainly because I want to do more things, stuff like comedy videos, gaming videos, yeah, stuff like that. But, yeah, that's pretty much all of the news for this segment, I guess. So on with the reviews. Alright, so the first Nerf gun that I'm going to be reviewing is the new Zombie Strike Crossfire. I actually got this at Target, so I guess that means that you should be able to as well, if you want to buy it. So, it is a crossbow, as you can see, and it's actually sort of like a single-barreled version of the rough cut, which is cool, I guess. It means that only shoots one bullet, though, but it does mean that all you need to do is just load the gun, and then, yeah, fire. It also has the same sort of smart barrel technology, which means that whenever, or if you put a dart into any of the barrels and load it, it'll shoot from that barrel. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. So, onto the features. Well, of course, that's the bow, the priming rod, or lever, or whatever you want to call it, is sort of a new feature, having to pull it back, which could be kind of hard to do if you just got it, but it gets better, or it gets easier to do it, the more you do it, essentially, like anything. It also has a stock attachment point at the end, as well as a bandolier attachment point. It has one that I don't know if it's intended to, but could also fit a bandolier attachment point. Sorry, I need to do something, or continue the review. Okay, sorry about that, there's some stuff that I had to do. So continuing with the details, there's also these sort of cutouts in the design, so right here, and on the handle, which I guess is supposed to reduce the weight, even though Nerf blasters in general are pretty light. But, that's one thing. Of course, it has the tactical rail. It does have, of course, iron sights as well, which are actually pretty accurate. Yeah, up to, like, for maybe 30 to 40 feet. Something like that. Let's see, what else? Oh yeah, probably can't see it on there. Yeah, in fact you can't. But instead of having sort of tactical camo on this area, it has this weird spiral-y design. So, yeah, the Crossfire bow. That's pretty much it, I suppose. Now, next thing you saw in the intro is the Rayven, which, it's a pretty awesome blaster. It's very compact, and, well, like most N-Strike Elite blasters, it's pretty powerful. It is, however, its accuracy is not as good, and of course it goes through ammo, and it comes with glow-in-the-dark ammo as well, which is neat, even though it's kind of rare, so it's not the kind of stuff I would recommend going out, like, to an actual Nerf war and just shooting it around with the glow-in-the-dark darts, because then they could get lost easily and you'd have to buy more. Yeah. Aside from that, it pretty much shoots as fast as you can hit the trigger, or pull the trigger. Yeah, it's got a tactical oil, of course. It's got a sort of carrying handle that unfortunately doesn't work. It has this kind of stripy pattern on the bottom, which will rub against your knuckles and might sort of rub the skin or whatever. It has 2 bandolier attachment points right here, and then a third one that's also sort of an attachment point on the top here. It has iron sights, of course. However, they are actually, I don't know if you can see, but they're pretty much lined up with the tactical rail, so you actually can't really aim with them unless you have a scope. There is, yeah, a side tactical rail, which you could put something like a laser on it. But, yeah. And of course there's the barrel attachment point as well, where you can put barrels. The next blaster we have would be the Hammershot, which is Nerf's new 5-shot revolver that actually came out last year. In terms of features, it has the bottom sort of, yeah, bandolier point. I don't know why I keep forgetting that. It has, again, another sort of, kind of, attachment point right there that you could try to do. Tactical rail, iron sights, of course. And then the hammer. Now it did advertise it as you being able to use it one-handedly, you being able to load it one-handedly. However, like, even with that, I kind of have to do something like this in order to shoot it. So it's pretty annoying, and it's better if you just sort of two-hand it and then use your thumb to shoot it repeatedly. Yeah, besides from that, there isn't really any complaints. Of course, it does have a limited ammo capacity, but that's kind of standard with most Nerf pistols. But, yeah. Again, it's a neat gun. So now, we have the Nerf Blazin Bow. So this is the last, or supposedly the last N-Strike product that they're going to have, the last normal N-Strike product. And yeah, it's a bow, kind of, with a weird thing at the end. So yeah, you just fire it, pulling back, and of course, the ammo holders, one thing that I did notice is that they do sort of clamp down on the arrows, and they leave them with indents, which for me is kind of annoying, because it messes up the arrows. It does have a sight, which you can see right there. It doesn't have any way of aiming, really. You just have to do your best predictions. It is pretty good as a stealth blaster, but yeah, as an actual blaster you would take to a Nerf war, I wouldn't recommend it unless you know how to get around, like, the battlefield and assassinate people with it. Also, another thing is that it's hard to carry around. Like, you could try doing something like this, but then you have the rest of it just hanging out there, and there's no real way to actually carry it without, or hands-free. And the other one that I have is the Zing Z-Tek Bow, which comes with these Zarts, or 2 different kinds of Zarts, which is what they call them. There's suction cup kind, which actually doesn't shoot as far and isn't as accurate, and then a whistling kind with the red tip, or red whistle, sorry, red whistle. Sorry, I keep mispronouncing that. A red whistle. There. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it functions on the orange bungees on the side, and it actually is pretty powerful. It can shoot up to like 100 feet, which I think is actually true, because, yeah, it's really powerful, unlike most actual Nerf blasters, which only shoot like 40 feet or whatever. They're 40 feet flat, that is. But, yeah, it's really powerful. I wouldn't recommend using it up close to someone, because it could actually really hurt them. And I would only recommend if you were, like, in sort of close proximity with people, pulling it back to, like, your wrist. I don't know if you can, yeah. Like, pulling it back there, because, well, that wasn't really good. Trying to find a way of sort of demonstrating it. Yeah, I don't know if you could see that, or hear that, or whatever, but, yeah. Yeah, very powerful, somewhat accurate. You do need to kind of figure out how to aim it on your own, because there isn't really any way of doing that. I suppose I would recommend it as a main weapon. Again, there isn't really any official sort of way to carry it hands-free, like the Blazin Bow. But, yeah. It also has the, these little black hooks on there, which are supposed to be to store ammo on. However, they are, just like the Blazin Bow's ammo holders, they are actually kind of tight, and they mess up the, sort of wiry, I don't know if you can see that, but it messes up this, neon sort of green mesh that's on there. And also, since it holds them so tight, it's really easy to just, hit it out of there. I guess one note for the two bows that I reviewed is both of them have, I don't know if you can see that white stuff on the bottom of the fin there, but that's actually where it broke. And on both of them, the fins of the arrows are actually pretty fragile, so make sure you aren't sort of aiming them at anything hard. The tips of these are definitely good for hitting against hard things, but don't like shoot it on lake bed or something like that. Don't shoot it near a bunch of rocks or anything like that, because it could rub against them and then just break off. And that's, well, especially with these, it'll definitely affect the accuracy and how they fly and stuff. Alright, so with the last parts, we have the Zombie Strike Machete and the Zombie Strike StrikeBlade. Now, starting with the smaller one, the Machete, it's, yeah, I'll zoom out here. If you can read that, it says it's made by Perpetual Play, which is another brand, I guess, that Nerf temporarily teamed up with. It seems like only to make this one, but I don't know, I haven't read any of the other labels. And as you can see on this handle, the paint has pretty much completely rubbed off, and it's, yeah, it's just chrome sort of everywhere. Same thing with the sort of engine-y looking handle guard. The blue paint is rubbing off and stuff, and, yeah, it's just not really that useful. Well, the weapon itself is useful if you're doing a Nerf war, but the paint and the decorations on it aren't really, because they rub off easily. Also, just another example. So, yeah, right there you can see the paint has rubbing off on the Nerf logo, and also on the blade itself, the paint for that is rubbing off. Yeah, it's still effective, it's just the quality of it isn't as good as the other Nerf project, or Nerf melee weapon thing. This is the Zombie Strike StrikeBlade, which I already mentioned, I think. I don't remember, actually. Anyways, yeah, it's part of the new 2014 toy line, just like the Crossfire bow. It's pretty cool. I know it is actually just a recoloring of the original, or just a recoloring of one of the old Enforce products. I think it's called the Vantage Sword or whatever. But it's still pretty cool. I don't have the original version of it. And yeah, it's definitely, when you feel the difference compared to from this handle compared to this handle, it's definitely a better quality foam. So yeah, I guess the features for it is that this one has the sort of neat spike things, which I guess you could catch someone's blade on it. I think just the black blade in general is pretty cool, as well with the pattern right here. The handle looks pretty neat, as well as the pommel, the end thing right there. The only problem with this one is that, and I don't know if you could really see it, but that black line is sort of like where the edges of the mold for this was, and they didn't really sort of smooth it down at all, so when you're holding it up like this, the edges of it can kind of poke you in the webbing of your thumb and index finger. So that's one thing to look out for. It is technically like a 1.5-handed sword. I know oftentimes, like on the internet, it's sort of the original version of this is referred to as like a nerf katana, which I suppose is true. But yeah, so you could do that, and you could do that, or yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the products. Remember to subscribe to the Shadow Scythe Union, and yeah, see you there. This is the last video that we're uploading to Homemade Nerf. So yeah, see you on the Shadow Scythe Union. See you on the new channel.